ORICO Thunderbolt 3 M.2 Dual-bay Docking Station Review. This Thunderbolt 3 hub has unique features but also has limitations, such as a 60-watt charging limit and limited availability outside the US and China. The cost and wider availability could have resulted in a better overall score. This Thunderbolt hub differs significantly in design compared to most other models released within the last few years. The design features heat-dissipating fins that cover both the top and underside, which is essential for managing the thermal output of the 120 watts PSU. The milled aluminum frame of the hub effectively conducts heat away from its inner components. We did not observe any heating while testing this engineering approach. A small hatch can be removed from the underside to install two M.2 2280 length drives, which is a potential heat-producing area. The box includes two thermal pads that bridge the air gap between the top of the installed drives and the metal cover. These slots have other issues which are mentioned subsequently, but placing a fan below the installed drives may help to avoid thermal throttling. M.2 slots have been seen before in a glyph hub, and this design deviates from other Thunderbolt 3 hubs. The Thunderbolt link of the laptop typically connects at the front of the hub, but in this case, it is located on the back with a DisplayPort outlet, 1 gigabit LAN port, a Thunderbolt 3 downlink, and a power jack. The USB-C port on the front has a bandwidth of 10 megabits, but this does not allow for connecting to a laptop or desktop Thunderbolt port. The front of the device has 3 USB Type-A ports, two 5 gigabits per second, and one 10 gigabits per second, as well as a 3.5mm headphone jack. There is no SD card slot, power button, or Kensington security slot. IT departments may be disappointed by the omission of a feature that would provide insurance against the potential misuse of an expensive and potentially easily transportable device. The power requirements for using a Thunderbolt hub with a computer vary widely. Ultrabooks typically require 60 watts whereas mobile workstations may require 85 watts, 87 watts, or more. The ORICO Thunderbolt 3 hub provides 60 watts of power to the connected system and an additional 15 watts of power to the Thunderbolt downlink. If you use a laptop with low battery power while it is being charged, the charge may not increase and could even decrease. Several popular designs have this limitation which may be considered unsatisfactory. Manufacturers of these devices typically do not highlight the available bandwidth and how it is divided among the ports. Generally, if a Thunderbolt hub has more than a few ports, the total bandwidth demands of those ports exceed the available bandwidth from Thunderbolt. This hardware is easy to connect and use, except for one minor issue. The design of the M.2 slot cover is not ideal. The cover plate fit has a high tolerance, making it difficult to remove after unscrewing the two screws. Once inside, one needs to be careful when securing the external screws as they are the same used to secure drives with a notched edge. It is advisable to take extra caution while installing these if the M.2 drive below is not visible, as any mistakes may incur expensive consequences. ORICO does not offer any software for the easy and safe removal of the device, unlike other Thunderbolt 3 hub manufacturers. It is important to be cautious when removing a laptop as storage may be connected to the PC via Thunderbolt cable. The performance of the Kioxia Xperia Pro 2TB drive on the M.2 slot was 2,777 MB per second in reads and 1,504 megabits per second in writes, as measured by Crystal Disk Mark 8.0.4. It is possible for a drive installed in a native M.2 NPC Gen 4 slot to reach 7,385 MB per second reads and 5,998 MB per second writes. This dock has a number of features that distinguish it and could be of genuine interest to customers. This design has the best M.2 slot in a hub implementation, although its performance is not as impressive as that of locally mounted drives. Critically, the selection of ports is suitable for connecting laptops to peripherals and services in the office, making it ideal hardware for this purpose. The primary drawbacks of this product are the 60 watts charging limit and cost, in addition to some minor design flaws such as the missing Kensington security slot in the M.2 bay cover. The 60 watts power limit of the laptop is generally not a problem for most users, since their device does not have components that heavily utilize power. If your system requires 85 watts or greater, it is recommended that you charge it with the power supply designated for its machine. Having two Thunderbolt ports may be beneficial to connect the dock.